Now, in this video, what I want to show you is the gear that I currently have. There's already a ton of new stuff that I ordered that's on the way that will change this whole workflow dramatically. And the whole point of this video is to slowly show you the different steps, where I'm coming from and where I'm going. So, ironically, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I did a setup tour video on my main channel that I'm going to include a link in the description. If you go watch that, most of the things are the same, but I already changed a couple of components and I'm going to be mostly talking about those differences in this video. So I'll wait here, go watch the other video. Well, seriously, I'm paused right now. Go watch the other one. All right, you watched it? Cool, because I'm about to turn the camera around and there's going to be differences. So the main difference, well, first of all, here, let me show you what this looks like. This is my wide shot of my setup. It's a mess, and the reason why it's a mess is because I've been tinkering it with all kinds of things so much lately that they're just cables all over the place. And obviously, this is not what it's going to look like once it's finished. It's going to be much more clean because I need to be here. I get distracted with all of this. It's not very inviting. Definitely want to work on that. But hey, this is behind the scenes, so it's fine if it's a little rougher around the edges, like I said in the previous video. Anyways, this right here is the Sony A7 III, which wasn't part of the video that the setup tour video, mainly because I was actually using this camera to record it. But right now is well, this is basically my face cam. As you can see, it's pointing at where I sit, and it's precariously perched on top of a Gorilla Pod. Like I said, all of this is temporary. I need to find a home for this that's not in such a sketchy way. I mean, this is, by the way, it's sturdy. It's not going to go anywhere. But I don't like how that looks, and it's also covering part of my speaker, so it's not a great location for it. Right now, by the way, I'm using my wife's, I don't know if you can see it there, or if I will get it in focus. I'm using my wife's hello, Nikon D750 to record this video. For the longest time, I've been using this camera through USB. I only got a capture card, which I'll show you in a minute. My first capture card ever, just a couple of days ago. So for about a month, I've been using this Sony via USB. This camera has or Sony Alpha cameras actually have the option to connect to this remote app via USB. So you get a video feed from the camera into your computer. That's it's low resolution and low frame rate, but it's not so bad that if you're gonna shrink it in OBS and put it in the corner of the screen, it's very usable. People didn't really notice that this was such a low resolution stream. There is a bit of a delay in terms of the video feed and the voice that's coming out of your sound card or whatever input device you have. But it's definitely useful. So if you have a Sony, like let's say a 6500 or an A7 S2 or A7 R3 or even an A7 III like mine, and there's probably other cameras that are supported, definitely something that might work for you, at least temporarily, until you actually get a proper capture card, which I highly recommend you do so. But if you're just getting started, that's and if you already have one of these mirrorless cameras, that's definitely one way to do it. Now, let me bring your attention down here. So this is my main PC. This is the only PC that I have, that's powerful enough to drive a stream and also video games. I mean, I do have a laptop that's pretty beefy too, but that doesn't count. Now, this is the capture card that I got, the Elgato Camlink. Let me see if I can actually focus here. Doesn't seem to want to focus. There we go. This is the Camlink 4K. It's relatively new. Came out like a couple months ago. And this one, the cool thing about this one is that it can capture up to 4K 30 frames per second. It can't go any higher than that. But that's more than enough for connecting any sort of DSLRs or mirrorless into OBS and crop them and do some cool things, which I'll walk you through some of the cool things that I've been doing. And these are very minimal. I think I can take this to another level sooner rather than later. But this, for the time being, this has been great. The quality is great. One thing I learned about capture cards, I don't know how common knowledge this is, but I always thought that capture cards, specifically the ones that are connected through PCI Express, which I don't have any right now, but I always thought that they did all the heavy lifting in terms of capturing the video signal, encoding it, and sending it to your computer. But this type of devices, I mean, all capture cards pretty much rely heavily on the GPU. So that's something to consider when you're having multiple capture cards in a system, and if you're pulling in a high resolution video feed that you're turning or sending to OBS. It's not like the actual card itself, it's just an interface. All the work is actually done by the rest of your computer. But once I actually get a proper PCI Express card that's actually on the way, we'll maybe talk about that in much more detail. This is just a quick overview of what I have. Another thing that wasn't in the video, just a quick remark, is this PlayStation. It's a PS4, like the regular model. I'm still, I've been always a PC gamer, but I've been trying out some games that a publisher sent me, so I might do something like that, whether on my channel, on my live streams, something along those lines, but I'm not sure at this time. Now, coming back here, this thing is also different from my setup tour. Originally, I had this bad boy right here. Let me see if I can move them. There we go. Yamaha Mg 10XU. See if I can actually show you on the screen. There you go. This is a 10-channel USB mixer. This one is the model that comes right after a 12-channel mixer. Let's see if I can actually get the the label there, MG12XU. So the reason why I got this one, it's well, these two are very, very similar, aside from the extra 2 channels. And obviously the faders. There's a couple of extra buttons. I don't want to go into detail about how I use this mixer because that's a whole topic for another video. But these two can very much do the same thing. In fact, if you never got one and you're planning on improving and getting a mixer, this one is a hell of a mixer. I mean, just look at it. Just aesthetically, it's gorgeous. This is all metal, by the way. It's like really sturdily built, if that's even a word. And this brought me so much joy. But I got the Big Brother now, which is basically a much more friendly, user-friendly version of this one. In terms of like quality, they're exactly the same. But this one, it has faders. Who doesn't love faders? Faders are awesome. But this one has knobs for the same thing. But it's okay. It's fine. Again, I'm going to cover this in a future video. In fact, I'm probably going to be comparing the two. If I end up selling this one primarily before I actually make that video, I'll put up a screen, just a picture of this on the video and show you how you can achieve most of what this one does in this one. Before I completely change subjects, so I have the Stream Deck here. It's pretty basic configuration as it is right now. Let me see if I can zoom in and show you how that looks like. So I have OBS scenes. I have a button to tweet my viewer counts and then a button to mute Discord. I feel like I'm only scratching the surface of this device. I feel like there's a ton of potential that can be unlocked from this. So yeah, hopefully in future videos we can talk more about that. Everything is going to happen in future videos, as you can see. So what's happening? So finally, this PC is the one I was telling you about earlier in this video. This is kind of trying to do everything at once now, and it's causing issues. The last couple streams that I've been hosting, the performance has gone down significantly. I would get really choppy streams, not very fun to watch, people complaining in the chat, even though my audience has been like beyond generous with me. They've all been like super understanding, and they've been like generous even with their pockets, offering money for me to do most of these upgrades. So I can't thank them enough. I tend to reinvest actually a lot of what I make through the different monetization channels that my channels actually have. AdSense, Patreon, super chats, bits, subscriptions on Twitch, merchandising, affiliate codes, etc., etc., etc. Actually, that's all it. Well, and of course, occasionally sponsorships and things like that, which I haven't done many, but I have done a few. And to me, this is pretty much a hobby. I enjoy this very much, as you can see. Very passionate about it, and I figured if you're watching this, you might be too. So, yeah. The problem with this video is they're not scripted, so I'm not entirely sure how to move on from there. But what I was talking about is this PC is trying to do too much. Now I remember what I was saying. This PC is trying to do too much, so I'm getting a second one. Most professional streamers have a dual PC stream setup. This is a single PC and it's causing issues, so I'm getting a second one. Now, I won't tell you much about what the second one is going to have inside. It's pretty crazy of a PC. It's obviously going to be dedicated to gaming, and this one is going to be running the stream from now on. This one is just if you wanted to know, this is an Intel 6700K i7 processor. It has 32 gigs of RAM, a whole bunch of SSD for recording, which is how I get my videos on my main channel done. And currently, I have this GPU here. This is my old GPU. It's a GeForce 980 Ti, also pretty decent GPU, but it's in a box right now, just gathering dust. So what I'm thinking of doing is I'm gonna put this card in there, and then the 1080 Ti is gonna be, moved to the new PC that is gonna come soon. And that is sort of the plan. So once we get all the new stuff, I'll make another video, show you what I got, why I got that, and how I'm planning to convert all of this into a dual stream setup. I'm going to do a lot of cable management here, tons of improvement. I even have some diagrams prepared that I want to show you. So once everything arrives, I'm going to put that video together, and I think it's going to be a ton of fun, not only to do it, but also to share with all of you. But wait, before I forget, one thing that I wanted to show you is this thing right here. This is my lighting setup right now. It's just a LED ring that I got off of Amazon. It's not great. I mean, it's a nice soft light, but the problem is that it's way too warm, and I'm doing a lot of tinkering with the camera to adjust the white balance, and then I'm applying a lot to achieve a much nicer look. But definitely don't recommend this. This is going to be changed sooner rather than later, and because right now it's fine, but it's not great. And the whole point of this is to have a really professional looking stream that's very engaging and nice and properly, has attention to detail, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I think that's all for this video. In the next one, I think I'm going to be covering OBS, basically what my current scene setup looks right now, some of the actual specific issues that I've been having, and what I'm planning on doing for those. And I don't know, I guess we'll take it from there. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you have suggestions, also leave them in the comments below. But yeah, that's it. See you in the next one.